unless you've been living under a rock, you know that Philadelphia has recently fired their head coach, Doug Pederson. And I'm basically going to tell you 3 to 4 things that they need to do to start their rebuild. But first, make sure to like and subscribe. All that is going to be up here, as you may or may not know, depending if you're new or not new to this channel. But anyhow, thanks for watching in advance. And without further ado, let's get right into this video. Now, the Doug Pederson firing was not surprising, especially after the last game with the New York Giants situation where they took their starting quarterback, Jalen Hurts, out. That was more than questionable because it was like they weren't even trying. It was like they were tanking. It's like they didn't even want to win. And it's crazy to think this guy won a Super Bowl 3 years ago. But the thing is, this guy hasn't had another 10-win season since that Super Bowl winning season. Yeah, reality has hit him hard. And it's crazy because I think that his firing had a lot to do with Carson Wentz. It had a lot to do with how the dynamic of the locker room was forming and shaping around Wentz and the head coach. But anyhow, I'm going to get to the couple steps that I believe the Philadelphia Eagles need to take to start this rebuild. Now, of course, number one, get some protection and get some wide receivers for your star quarterback. It's obvious that Jalen Hurts is the star guy. Jalen Hurts is going to be the guy of the future. Jalen Hurts is Jalen Hurts. He's the guy of the future right now. He's the guy that they need to be investing in. And what I mean by get him some insurance, get him some protection, I mean get him an offensive line and get him some wide receivers. That guy has 0 wide receivers right now. And JJ Arcega-Whiteside is not going to do it. I'm sorry, but he's not that great of a wide receiver. They need to draft, if he's available, I say draft Devontae Smith or, of course, what's his name again? Jamar Chase. Of course, draft one of the 2 really good receivers you know are on the board this year. I think you need to draft them, but anyhow, get this guy a wide receiver. Get this guy some targets. I mean, he has 400 total yards without any elite wide receivers. So imagine you get him a good wide receiver with a good O-line and a very decent running game. I think you can most definitely develop a very good offense with a player like Jalen Hurts. And he's super talented. That's what you love about him. He's super talented. He can run the ball. He can pass the ball. He can do everything with it. But yeah, that's my number one wrapped up. Get something around him. Get something for that offense. Whether that be making Zach Ertz more improved, more involved in the offense per se. I think that's what you need to do to get these guys to make this quarterback more comfortable, to make his job a little bit easier, especially as a young guy. You don't want him taking all those hits, teams teeing off on him and hitting him at every chance they get. Now, for number two, it's finding another head coach. I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? You need to find a guy that fits your scheme. I really think that Lincoln Riley would be very, very, very good for this position because, of course, he's a college coach right now, probably won't want to give up his job. But Lincoln Riley, he's ran some really good Oklahoma offenses. Of course, one that was with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, he went in Oklahoma. They scored 30 points a game as they usually do. They need to find that head coach. They need to find a guy that really, really fits that sort of offense. A guy that can really get the most out of Jalen Hurts, out of maybe Carson Wentz if he starts again, which is highly unlikely. But you need a guy that can really get the most out of Jalen Hurts. And the guy that comes up to mind for me is, of course, Lincoln Riley, Jalen Hurts head coach at Ohio State in his last year in college football. But of course, you have Urban Meyer, who was a great head coach for Ohio State for all those years. You need to find your head coach. And whether that be Urban Meyer or whether that be Lincoln Riley, I think it has to be somebody that can really get the best out of this offense. And, of course, really draft well. Somebody who can get some things for the offense. And, of course, the defense, defensive coordinator can handle that. Philadelphia's defense is always pretty good, especially with Fletcher Cox always in the middle. That defense has always been good, but the offense, that's been the constant problem. So I suggest getting an offensive-minded head coach. Lincoln Riley's my number one guy, but who knows? Maybe you want the guy, Eric Bellamy, something like that. I don't remember his name, but the offensive coordinator from Kansas City. I think you should get him. And it's a lot of things, but the bottom line is get guys who fit the scheme. Get guys who have an offensive mind. And then my third reason, and quite possibly my final reason, it's simply repair the relationship with all of your players. Of course, Zach Ertz, he wasn't heavily involved this year. I think you have to repair that. I think you have to get a coach that's going to get that guy back involved. Of course, the relationship with Carson Wentz, it seems shaken at this point. It seems like Carson Wentz might want out of Philadelphia, and I wouldn't blame him. But I think before you let him out, you have to repair that relationship. You have to of course, you have to let him know that he's not the starter anymore, but you also have to repair it to the point where there's some certainty at the quarterback position. You know who the starter is. You know who the star is. And as of right now, it was uncertainty with the quarterback position all year long. We didn't know who the starter was. Was Carson Wentz the guy? Was Jalen Hurts the guy? Was the guy they put in for Jalen Hurts in the last game of the season? Is he the guy? It was a whole bunch of stuff going on the whole season, and I really think that distracted the entire team from their main goal, which was to win games. I think you need to repair the relationships with all your star players. You need to get them more involved. You need to ask them. You need to, and by them I mean Fletcher Cox, Brandon Goodwin, or what's his name? Brandon Graham, and then of course you have Zach Ertz. You have Jalen Hurts. You have all those guys, all those four guys that I just named. All of them, you need to ask them, what does this team need? What do you guys need to win? How do you guys want to be involved? What do you guys want to be involved with? What do you guys not want to be involved with? We're going to trade for this guy. Do you need a say in that? Like, things like that. You need to repair the relationships with your star players. You need to let them know that they matter. They are the guys on the team. You need to let them be leaders. You need to let them be them. And I think that's all that it goes into. You need to repair the relationship with those star players. And repairing those relationships goes into repairing it with Carson Wentz and deciding who the star is going to be, who the guy at the helm is going to be, whether that be Carson Wentz or Jalen Hurts. And I believe that's going to be Jalen Hurts. But anyhow, that's it for this very, very short video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. The Philadelphia Eagles, you guys are definitely a savageable team. I think you guys can be good as soon as next year, in my opinion. I think next year you guys could be contenders. However, going into this year, you guys had a lot of uncertainties, and I didn't think it was going to be a great year for you guys, to be honest. I thought you guys would at least win your division, considering y'all are in a pretty weak division. However, it was a lot of uncertainty. It was like you guys lose to the Cowboys, you lose to the Giants, you lose to a lot of teams you really shouldn't have lost to, and considering the amount of talent you guys have on this team, this is definitely a savageable team. You repair all the relationships, you play all your cards right, you get the right head coach, you get guys around Jalen Hurts. I believe that this team can definitely be one of the better teams next year. But anyhow, thank you for watching. I love you guys, and I will catch you guys next episode.